Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Forest Park Community Center for our candidate forum. My name is David Nix, and I'll be the moderator tonight. And so, I hate to make everybody quit visiting, but we do want to try to keep this on time, and so we're going to start probably at 6, so that's what we're going to try to do. But on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I want to welcome everyone here tonight. I want to thank Sandra Adams and Karen Mize particularly for helping put this on. It's quite an event, just one of the many events that the Chamber does for the community, for our area, and they do a great job. This event has been well publicized in the Lamesa Press Reporter and on KPET, which they are streaming this, they're carrying this live on KPET tonight. And we also have it streaming live on the Lamesa Chamber website. Nathan Foy is here taking care of that. So anyway, I just want to welcome everyone and thank the candidates particularly for being a candidate, number one, and really appreciate y'all's willingness to serve and stepping out there and kind of open yourself up to take some criticism as well as praise, hopefully, for the job you do. And but we do appreciate it and recognize that service. The purpose of this forum is just to introduce the candidates to the public, to the voters, and let them have their opportunity to provide their views and their goals for their office. And politics plays an important role in any community, and it's part of the quality of life. It's part of our the business sense of everything that we do. Of course, that's the main mission of the Chamber of Commerce. So the intent here is to just be a positive, informative venue for the candidates and the public. Now, this isn't intended to be a debate, and there's not going to be a question and answer session afterwards. It'll just be questions that I will ask the candidates, the candidates that are up for contested office. But after the forum's over, if anybody wants to stick around and ask the candidates questions, as long as they're willing to stick around, that'll be fine. I'm going to have 5 questions for the 2 contested races, and the candidates will have 2 minutes to respond to each question. And we've got a little timer up here that's kind of scary, but anyway, after a minute and a half, the yellow light will come on, indicating you have 30 seconds left. And then after that, at the end of 2 minutes, there'll be a red light come on. And you can't, you don't have to take the whole 2 minutes, but you can't go over 2 minutes. So appreciate your help on that. I don't want to have to get rough with anybody tonight. But the order of the candidates, the responses will be rotated on each question, so everybody will have equal time and opportunity for each candidate. And then after we have the contested races, the candidates for the uncontested races will have up to 5 minutes to make a comment, provide them a little bit, provide an introduction, so they can let their voice be heard as well. So at this time, we'll go ahead and we'll start with the district clerk race. We have the 3 candidates for district clerk: Adreana Gonzalez, Tobie McCormick, and Kaci Porterfield. So if y'all would. I might ask everyone, please silence your cell phones. We hear that at any public gathering anymore, so I'll try to remind you. As I said, we have 5 questions, and during those questions, you can you'll have plenty of opportunity, I think, to kind of introduce yourself, tell who you are and why you're wanting to run, etc. So the first question, and we'll start with Adreana, and then Tobie will be the second to answer, and then Kaci will be the third. And then, like I said, on the next question, then we'll rotate. Tobie will be the first one to answer on the next question. So, question number 1 to Adreana Gonzalez. Why do you want to serve as district clerk?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adreana Gonzalez, and I am the mother of 3 boys. My youngest is currently a junior at Lamesa High School. I feel like this is the perfect time in my life to take on the role of district clerk. I've been working in the district clerk's office for 4 years now, and almost 10 years with Dawson County. We are the record keepers for the district courts. We have been cross-trained, so I know everything from filing a new case to the time that a judgment has been entered. Whether it's a civil case, a family law case, or a criminal case, I have the knowledge and know-how to review and accept cases through our electronic filing system, as well as cases that need to be filed by the district attorney's office or by a pro se individual. Along with filing these suits, we also have to keep up with the daily pleadings that are filed into these cases. The district clerk also goes into the courtroom to assist the judge with dockets and processing paperwork that is being submitted at that time. I have sat in on criminal dockets, civil dockets, and on jury trials. I am currently certified with the Criminal Justice Information System and have the responsibility of reporting dispositions to DPS. If this is not done in a timely manner or correctly, we can lose funding. I am also a certified passport acceptance agent, and I feel like my knowledge of the job and my experience make me the perfect candidate for the position of district clerk. And I am ready to take the leadership role and hope that after tonight I have your support and your vote.
Very good. Thank you, Adreana. Tobie, same question. Why do you want to serve as district clerk?
Hi, my name is Tobie McCormick. My husband is John McCormick. I have 2 kids and 2 beautiful grandchildren and 1 more grandchild on the way. I want to be district clerk because I have worked in the district clerk's office for 8 years as a deputy clerk, and I loved the job ever since I started. The longer I work there, the more that I love it. The district clerk's office offers many different services and for many different types of cases, as Adreana mentioned: civil cases, criminal cases, family cases. I am very confident in my knowledge and ability. I have worked in all of these cases. I know how to work a new case. I know I'm confident in working up all the pleadings and the services that we are to provide with that. I'm able to go into the courtroom, and I've done so, and I'm comfortable in the courtroom, and I am able to file the reports that are needed to be filed. I know all the regulations on that. I have worked under some excellent leadership, and I have learned so much from that, and I feel that I am prepared to take on the responsibility of the district clerk's office. And I would like the opportunity to take all that I have learned and to use it to serve Dawson County and to provide them with the excellent service that they are already used to having. And this is why I would like to be the district clerk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tobie. Kaci, same question.
My name is Kaci Porterfield. I am actually a 5th generation Dawson County resident. I married my husband, 12 years ago. We have 3 beautiful children. They're sitting there. They range in age from 4 to 10. Back in the summer, I felt that I had a push to lead me in a different area. I know that I was taught at a very young age that It is very important to serve. Service is very important. At that point, I felt that I was being pushed to serve the citizens of Dawson County in a different aspect. After much soul searching, it was a lot of soul searching, I felt God pushed me towards this endeavor. I feel that I am a great candidate for the district clerk simply because, as all of us are up here, not one of us has actually served as a district clerk. There are deputy clerks and there are chief deputy clerks, but not one of us has served as district clerk. So I kind of feel we're all on the same level of playing field at that point. The past 6 years, I've actually successfully managed multiple assisted living facilities, as well as having administration experience. I actually manage and implement multi-million-dollar budgets on an annual, weekly, monthly, and semi-annually road. I understand that good leadership is not just showing and telling, but it's actually doing as well. It's very important that I jump in with you and get very well versed in everything that you are doing. I'm experienced in monitoring legislative updates and policy changes. I will continue to work hard to push and maintain the efficient and productive office as all of Dawson County citizens deserve.
Okay, thank you very much, Kaci. Okay, the second question, and Tobie, this will be for you first. What goals have you set for the district clerk office if elected to this position?
I feel that the office is run very well and is meeting the needs of Dawson County. My goal would be to maintain the integrity and efficiency that has already been established in the office from the current district clerk, to provide pleasant and helpful service, and to provide the most up-to-date service available. You should be able to come into our office and know that whatever service you require, that it will be filed promptly and correctly, and that the people who are doing it will know exactly what needs to be done with it. And those are the goals that I have for the office.
Okay, thank you. Kaci?
The goals that I have come up with is I would actually like to streamline the paperless, which is the electronic filing, in an effort to be more efficient with the budgeted funds as allocated towards the office. It's just easier to have a streamlined across the board electronic filing process. I want to strive to work with the commissioners to create a responsible, reasonable budget and efficiently work within that budget while continuing to run an effective office. I want to continue to maintain cooperative and mutually beneficial relationships between the district clerk's office, the sheriff's office, probation office, all the different courts, other offices and attorneys, as well as the citizens that we serve within the county.
Okay, thank you. Adreana?
I plan on using the 9 to 10 months that Pam has before she retires to learn everything I possibly can from her. Also, after taking office, all new district clerks are required to receive continuing education for the Information Act and Open Records and Meeting Act within the first 3 months of taking office. And there will also be a lot of new office holders this coming year. So I would also like to meet with those new office holders, visit with them, see if they're planning on making any changes and how it will affect our office.
Okay, thank you. The third question, this will start with Kaci. What experience qualifies you for the district clerk?
I kind of touched on this just a little bit. I actually have a bachelor's degree in social sciences from Midwestern State University. And like I said a while ago, in the past 6 years, I have managed and administered been the administrator over multiple, including up to 6 and 7 assisted living facilities within this region. Prior to that, I was actually a case manager with the Dawson County Mental Health Department. I was a case manager over Dawson, Gaines, Andrews, Yoakum, Kent, Garza counties, as well as maintaining a very hefty caseload of clients within the Dawson County alone, adults and children, as well as dealing with the multi-million-dollar budgets. I know it's very important to be able to budget to effectively run an office. Within my administration experience, like I said, well, it's very important to not only learn what the deputy clerks and the chief deputy clerks are doing, but be able to do it as well as administer and manage that office as well. I know that leadership is important, but I need to be able to do it as well.
Okay, thank you. Adreana?
As I had mentioned before, I have been working in the office for 4 years. I do know how to accept the filing with the cases and working on the cases. Also, I have sat in on criminal dockets and civil dockets and jury trials. I've been in there when the jury has been summoned and we have to check them all in, and during the voir dire and everything, I've sat in on that. I guess that's it.
Okay, thank you. Tobie?
As I said, I've worked in the office for 8 years. When I first started working in the office, the first year I was there, I had an opportunity to learn from someone that had worked there for many, many years, and I learned a lot in that time. I feel that I gained a lot of experience with that. And then from there on, when the new district clerk came into office, I became deputy clerk, chief deputy clerk, and at that time, I just learned more throughout the years. The district clerk's office is something that has so many different aspects and areas. It takes quite a bit of time to learn all the different things that go on in the office, and I feel that I have had the time in the office to learn all of this and to be confident and comfortable with whatever might come in. You're constantly learning something new, and I feel that my knowledge and experience makes me the perfect candidate to be the district clerk.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this will be the fourth question, and this will start, Adreana, be the first one to answer on this one. And I know y'all have all touched on some of this already, but the fourth question is, what responsibilities will you have as a district clerk?
The district clerk is responsible for submitting office and court administration reports. That is also something that does need to be done correctly, or we could lose funding. You would also have to get continuing education hours. You have 20 hours that you have to receive annually, and the district clerk is also in charge of submitting appeals. If somebody does not agree with the judge's ruling on a case, they can file a notice of appeal, and the district clerk would prepare that record, the clerk's record, and send it to the Court of Appeals. They're also the financial officer. If there is a minor that is awarded money and their child is under the age of 18, the money will be placed into the registry of the court, and the clerk handles their account until they're of age to receive that money. They're also the jury manager, and they're in charge of summoning the jurors. So the Secretary of State compiles a list from the DPS and from voter registration, and they go through it and they process it and weed out people that are no longer allowed or eligible to serve on the jury, and then we receive the list and we send out the summons for jury trials. And those are things that the district clerk is responsible for doing.
Okay, thank you. Tobie?
The district clerk is responsible for the reporting, is responsible for the financial reporting, and for, as was said, when there is an appeal filed, the district clerk will work up the appeal and send it into the Court of Appeals. The district clerk also is responsible for providing a clerk to be in the courtroom with the judge and to providing service for the judges that are needed in the courtroom. The district clerk does, when there's a jury, she does pull all the jury summons and mails them out and make sure that all that is prepared and in the computer like it needs to be, so that when the jury comes in, they're all checked in, and then once the jury comes in, is they're all, who's there and what jurors you have available. The district clerk also prepares notices for when there's hearings coming up. She's responsible for providing those notices that the hearings in a timely manner before the hearings are up. The district clerk also works at the pre and post prints and provides the records for those. And just the clerk needs to not only be able to do the financial reporting and all of that, again, the clerk does need to be able to do the work that's in the office and know how to do what the deputies are doing and know how to instruct them also.
Okay, thank you. Casey?
Just as both of these two ladies have said, the district clerk actually has a multitude of tasks that they do on a daily basis. Not only I basically said that the district clerk is keeper of the records of the court. We work very closely with the sheriff's office, the judge, the district judge, county judge, all of those, the sheriff's office, I said that already. We work very closely with all those offices. The district clerk controls and helps hold all the money for juveniles that is awarded within the court until, like Adreana said, that they become of age where they can accept the money on their own. They do financial reports so that they can keep the funding within their own office as well. The district clerk has, like I said, multiple duties that they do that you learn over time, as Tobie did say.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the fifth and final question, and this will start with Tobie. What distinguishes you from your opponents?
I feel the amount of time that I've had in the office as a deputy clerk has given me the opportunity to learn more and to prepare more. I have worked with people that have had so much to share, and that has just been a great opportunity for me. And I feel that is a wonderful benefit to me. And I feel that that I have had the chance to learn so much in that time from the people that I've worked with. And I feel that is what makes me a good candidate for this job.
Okay, thank you. Casey?
I feel that I am a great candidate for the district clerk simply because I have a servant's heart. I have served in multiple different areas for 12, 13 years now. I feel that I'm just as qualified as these other two ladies are, simply because no one up here has been a district clerk yet. Yes, they have worked in the office. Yes, I will work in the office. Yes, I have not been in there yet, but I will learn. The district clerk duties comes there's more duties that come within the district clerk as well, on top of working in the office so far, that I feel that I can easily learn with time. I feel that my experience in administration and leadership is a very beneficial skill that I have to just progress the district clerk's office with the continued amazing management that is had over the last 8 years.
Thank you. Adreana?
I feel like I would be a good district clerk because I have worked in the office for 4 years. I love working in the district clerk's office. I enjoyed learning everything that I have learned from Pam and even from Tobie. And I am excited and ready to continue to learn all the duties that the district clerk needs to be responsible for. I enjoy working with my coworkers, and I would like to continue staying there in the district clerk's office.
Okay, thank you, Adriana. Okay, at this time, that's the 5 questions that we had for the district clerk position. Want to thank all 3 of y'all. I think Dawson County is fortunate that we've got 3 good candidates running for this position. And, we're fortunate in that. So thank y'all very much. Let's give them a round of applause. We'll do the district judge questions next. So making their way up to the stage.
Which one you like? Yeah. I'll scoot in.
Make sure that I get these initials in here because both of these guys, we have Reed A. Filley and we have W. Calloway Huffaker. And if that's okay, I'll just address you as Reed and Cal.
It's fine.
If that's fine. Is that on?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Very good. We will follow the same format. We will alternate who gets to go first. And we will go ahead and get started with the first question. And again, thank y'all for running for this important position. The first one, and Reed, we'll start with you. Why do you want to serve as the 106th district judge? And do you plan to move the primary office out of the Dawson County Courthouse?
Okay, I'm Reed Filley. Thank you. To answer your first question, no, absolutely not. As you know, both Cal and I, we both live in Tobie. I've been officing here in Lamesa for over 10 years now. I don't even have to direct my car anymore. It knows how to get here, and it's going to continue to know how to get here as long as I serve as judge, because this is where the primary office will remain as long as I'm judge. Why do I want this position? I guess I look back to on November 4th, which was not when I decided to start running, but that's when I actually decided to start walking. That's when I began knocking on doors, and in the last 3.5 months, I have knocked on over 3,000 doors. I have talked to a lot of people. I have asked for a lot of votes. If you live in the country, I'm sorry I didn't come and bother you. If you weren't home, I'm sorry, but hopefully you got something that I left on your door. I personally knocked on every one of those doors, and I personally talked to several of those people. As a lawyer, I want to help people. But I found, as I've been a lawyer for a while now, for over 16 years, that it feels like you can't help people as much as I would like as a lawyer. And I think that being a judge will give me a better opportunity to be able to help people. That's why I first started doing CPS cases as a court-appointed lawyer. I guarantee it certainly wasn't for the money. I wanted to help people, but I found, and we got one of our CPS workers right here in front, I found that unfortunately with CPS cases, about 90+% of them, it involves drugs. And unfortunately, we've got a real big drug problem around here. And when you're appointed to represent a father, you're appointed to represent a mother, and they're hooked on drugs, you can't help them unless they're ready to help themselves. So it looks like I'm out of time, so I thank you, and I hope as a judge I can help people better.
Okay, thank you, Reed. Cal, same question.
Well, first of all, I'm Calloway Huffaker, and I'm running for district judge here in the 106th Judicial District. I'm a lifelong resident of Tobie and Lynn County. The district court is not going to move from Lamesa as long as I'm district judge. The court has been here for many, many years, and I intend for it to stay here. In the late 1930s, my grandfather served this district as district attorney. I remember growing up how he told me how proud he was to have the opportunity to represent the residents of the 4 counties. And he also told me how much he enjoyed doing that job. This year I'm starting my 30th year of practicing law in Texas, and I have accomplished about all that there is to accomplish for a small country lawyer. I have been extremely blessed. My practice has been more than I could have ever dreamed. And I see that this opportunity is a chance for me to move into a new area. I see this job as a chance for me to complete my career, giving back to those who have been so generous with me over the past 30 years. I have been working throughout the state of Texas, representing people from, just like Reed, I started off representing children in the CPS system, and now are doing multi-million-dollar cases. But it's time for me to make a change. And I feel that as your next district judge, I can use the 30 years of experience that I've had to be the best district judge that you could ask for. I hope that as your district judge, that someday, when I am off the bench, that somebody would say, you know, that man, he did a really good job. And he did it humbly, and he did it to his best ability to serve the people of this district. Thank you.
Thank you. Second question, Cal, this will be directed to you first. What goals have you set if elected to this position?
Well, I've got a lot of things that I would like to do as your next district judge, but I want to tell you that this is just a short list of the things that I hope to accomplish. First, I want to schedule court more often in each of the 4 counties. I think that a more aggressive court schedule in the 4 counties would afford a better turnaround in our district. And you ask, how is that going to help me as a taxpayer? Well, part of the cost of the district court as taxpayers in these counties is the time that our prisoners stay in jail. And one of the things that I would like to see done is to move these prisoners in and out of the system in a more timely manner. Affording more court dates in each county would help with this. The other thing that I think needs to be done is to bring all of the players within the system together to work toward a common goal. I think that the district judge sets the tone throughout the courthouse. That would start with the district judge's office. It would work with the district clerk's office, the sheriff's office, the probation office, and the district attorney's office. All of these individuals have to work toward a common goal of making our judicial system within our district work as smoothly and efficiently as possible. To do this, I would propose that initially we would start off with having meetings of everyone in the district discussing what issues that they're having and why they're not getting the results that they would like to from the system. That discussion then would set common goals and give us a pathway to reaching solutions for those problems. Secondly, I would like to move forward with the state mandated e-filing. We've got the civil e-filing pretty well in motion now, but we're on the cusp of doing our criminal docket that same way. And I think that's going to be an opportunity for the district court to lead all of the courts within the 4 counties to not only upgrade the filing system, but also to move forward into the state mandated filing. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Cal. Reed, the same question. What goals have you set if elected to this position?
Thank you. Basically, I have 3 goals, 3 main goals if I were to be elected to this position. Number 1, very similar to what Cal said, I would strive for open communication between the district judge's office and the other offices of the county and in the courthouse. I'm not going to say that it necessarily starts at the district judge's office. I think that it has to be where all the offices in the courthouse are on an even level, and they need to be treated as such. I think it's important that the DA's office, and as well other attorneys who are handling cases here in the 106th district, that they have, that they feel that they can openly communicate to the court, to the judge, to the court staff, in order to, if they have any problems or issues, that they can get those resolved. Number 2, I think it's important that we be fiscally responsible with taxpayer money. How would I do that? Well, one thing is to make sure that we keep the district judge's budget low. I feel that the current district judge has done a good job in keeping the budget low, and I would strive to go ahead and continue to do that. In addition to that, the judge oversees what's called the Indigent Defense Fund. And with probably about less than a minute left, I don't have enough time to explain to you exactly what that is. I'd love to, if you have any questions on it, to explain to you later. But in essence, when you have a court-appointed attorney, somebody has to pay for that. That's the court, that's the taxpayers of this district. And I think it's important that as a fiscally conservative person and as a judge, that we keep that as low as possible. Finally, as my dad said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my 3rd goal. You know, I could come in here and say I've got a 5-point plan of all the things that I'm going to change and how we're going to do this differently and that differently. But you know what? I'm not going to do that because, you know, before I became a parent, I knew everything there was to know about parenting. And then I became a parent and I realized I didn't know a darn thing about parenting. And I think it's the same way with being a judge. You know, ask me that question again after I've been a judge for a year, and I'll tell you, these are the things that I have done to make it better. But right now, I don't have all the answers because I haven't done the job yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Reed. 3rd question. Reed, this will be yours first. Criminal cases account for a significant amount of the work of the district court. What areas of law are covered by your experiences?
Well, in particular, what I handle, probably about 95% of my caseload is criminal law and family law. And with family law, I include CPS cases in that. As far as criminal law goes right now, as a private attorney, as a solo practitioner, I do criminal defense. And I handle both misdemeanors and I handle felonies. Prior to going into becoming a sole practitioner, I worked at the district attorney's office in El Paso, Texas. I was an assistant DA. I was a prosecutor. So I have handled criminal cases from both sides. I've prosecuted them and I've also defended them. I feel that that gives me an edge when it comes to experience when you're talking about criminal law. Thank you.
Cal?
Over 30 years of practicing law within Texas, I've done everything from the simplest case in the JP court all the way to the Court of Criminal Appeals in Texas. I've handled, as a municipal attorney, the prosecution duties in all of the cases dealing with municipal court. So I have prosecution experience. But also, in practicing for the past 30 years, I've handled everything from a DWI to all the way to aggravated sexual assault. In handling those things, you learn that there's always two sides to every story. And as a prosecutor, you have one direction to follow. As a defense attorney, you have to see whether that person is actually going to be found guilty of what he is charged with. I've got the experience over the past 30 years handling everything in the criminal arena, and I think that as far as the experience in that area, 30 years speaks volumes for itself.
Okay, thank you. Fourth question, Cal, this will be yours first. In family law cases, the judge sometimes needs to visit with the children involved. How comfortable would you feel visiting with these children and drawing out their feelings?
Well, as I stated earlier, in my 30 years of practice, I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of divorces I've handled. Unfortunately, in those cases, I've had to deal with their children quite often. Also, when I first started practicing, I was handling CPS appointments. I've handled some horrid cases through the CPS system. And unfortunately, through that system, I learned that the children are the victim. And in a divorce, the children are a victim. And so, in handling a case that the children would be involved in a divorce or family law case where I had to deal with those children, I would first ask that they be interviewed in private. I do not believe that should be done in open court. The second thing is that I feel that they always need to have another adult in the court's presence when that interview is going on. I love children. I've always been close to working with children, and I think through 30 years of experience of handling cases where the children were unfortunately in the line of fire, I know how to handle that situation.
Okay, thank you. Reed?
Thank you. You know, I'm going to agree with Cal on most of what he said. I think that it is important as a judge when meeting with children to have someone else present, especially in this day and age. You know, there are people, especially if you have in CPS cases, sometimes custody cases, where kids are abused, and you know they can turn around and say things or make things up. It's good to have someone else present, and that should not be done in a courtroom. It needs to be done in an area, whether it's in judge chambers or that may even be intimidating to a child. So take them to an area where they feel more comfortable in order to speak with them. I still handle CPS cases. Just this morning and this afternoon, I handled 4 cases, and I was appointed as what's called the attorney ad litem to represent the child in all 4 of those cases. I'm extremely comfortable in talking to children, sometimes not so much my own, but when it comes to other children, I feel like I can talk to them. I feel like that I know them well. I feel like that I can understand and try to get to what the state of Texas, I think rightfully so, has determined when it's a custody case, when it's a CPS case, the judge is supposed to do one thing above all others, and that is to determine what is in the best interest of the child. And that is what I would do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the 5th and final question. Reed, this is for you first. Many criminal defendants cannot afford to hire an attorney. What is your plan for providing the required indigent defense?
So I am going to get a chance to talk about the indigent defense fund. All right. That's true. In the state of Texas, in this country, you've seen it on TV. Don't believe everything you see on TV, but people have read their rights and they're told if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. And that goes here as well. Someone has to pay for that, all right? And what I plan to do is do something very similar to what we are already doing, which is to have an indigent defense fund. Currently, the process is that fund is, the indigent defense contract is put up for bid. And attorneys are allowed to do so, and whoever has the qualifying bid, as long as that person has the requisite experience that they need in order to be able to handle criminal cases, criminal defense, then that person wins the bid. I've actually looked at, and it's public records, but this current contract that we have versus getting private attorneys and paying them per case, in the last 3 years, this has saved this district $1 million, okay? 2017 saved $340,000. Here in Dawson County alone has saved $164,000 by having this indigent defense contract. And I think as being fiscally responsible, we need to continue that. We need to make sure that the taxpayers are not burdened by, well, we're gonna go ahead and change this up, we're gonna make change just for the sake of making change, and it's gonna cost all of us, all the taxpayers of this entire district, a lot of money.
Thank you. Cal?
I believe that the Indigent Defense Fund that we have currently set up is not providing adequate defense to our accused. I believe that there is a better way to do that. Now, Lubbock has recently instituted a new system, which is one option. There are other options available. I think that a blended system of a public defender and maybe some private attorneys would be one way to handle it. But first, we've got to look at how are we going to pay for this. And I think that goes back to my original answer. The way we need to pay for this is get these individuals out of our jail system. If they're sitting in jail, they're costing us food, they're costing us medical, and they're costing us in many more ways. And so what I propose is getting the system working in a better fashion so that these individuals are moving in and out of our system in a more timely manner, saving us money on one end that we can utilize to provide better defense for those individuals who are accused. I'm not being critical of the person who is taking care of that defense. I'm just telling you that one person over 4 counties cannot handle that kind of a caseload. And I think that there's a better way to approach that situation. And I would go to the Commissioner's Court, to the county judges, to openly discuss this situation to determine what would be the most cost-efficient way to provide the best possible defense for these individuals that we possibly could, while keeping the budget under a reasonable situation, so that you and I as taxpayers are not paying an exorbitant amount for that defense.
Thank you, Cal. Well, that concludes the questions, and I'll repeat what I said a while ago. We're very, very fortunate to have 2 qualified, excellent candidates for district judge. So, let's give them a round of applause. That's great. Now we've got candidates here that are running unopposed, and in the November election, incumbent Joe Raines will be representing the Republican Party, and Tony Hernandez will be representing the Democratic Party, and both seeking office of County Commissioner for Precinct 2. Joe Raines is, all candidates were, of course, invited to attend. Joe is here, and if he would like to come say a few words, Joe, you're certainly welcome. And remember, we have 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah. You don't have to talk the whole 5 minutes, Joe. It's okay.
Well, today in court, Judge announced that I was supposed to sing the national anthem tonight. So I told Janice, since she's my song leader at church, that she could do it for me. She declined. And I have enjoyed being your commissioner. I was born and raised in Dawson County. Went to school at Klondike, graduated there, went from there to South Plains College, got through that, and I moved back to Lamesa, but while I was in Lamesa, I commuted for 2.5 years to Texas Tech and graduated with a BS degree in ag ed. Anyway, but instead of teaching, I decided to go into farming. So I went into farming with my father-in-law, Roy Klein. I'm sure most of y'all know that. But between Lloyd and my dad and my parents, they instilled hard work into me. All I know how to do is just work hard, but I also have a servant's heart. I love this county, and the county's been so good to me. And in the form of the 4-H club that I grew up in, I want to see our 4-H club prosper here in our county too. And I want our kids, when our kids leave home and go off to college, I want them to say, hey man, I'm from Dawson County. That's the greatest county in Texas. And that's how we get it, is through our 4-H clubs, our ag programs in our schools. And what else do you need to know? Anyway, I heard the term a couple of times with these other guys that if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Well, our court, our commissioner court is not broke. We all work together real well. I really enjoyed serving with Boy and Russell and Nikki and Ricky, and we just have a smooth running program. And I think we need to just keep it going the same way. So.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Incumbent Russell Cox is uncontested for the County Commissioner Precinct 4. So, Russell, would you like to come say a few words?
Thank you. I am Russell Cox, and I have Tracy, my wife, by far the better of the duo. We have 3 kids, and grew up in Dawson County, been here all my life. Farm, we just love Dawson County. I've enjoyed being a part of the court. I was appointed an unexpired term in May of 2013 that Judge O'Brien had, and when he resigned, I was appointed. And so this is, I've already served 1 full term. This is the 4th year of that term, and run for re-election. And just enjoy the court, enjoy serving Dawson County. We work well together. It's been a pleasure working with these guys and all the county offices and the other positions in the county and the leaders there. It's been nice working with those folks. And I am unopposed. I'm not going to say much because I think that's where you get in trouble. Just talking too much. So I'm going to quit. Thank you very much.
Okay. County Judge Boy O'Brien is also seeking re-election in the March primaries, and he's running uncontested. So, Boy, would you like to make a statement?
You might need to bear with me. I've kind of been under the weather with my voice the last few days. But first off, I'd like to start out by thanking the City of Lamesa for letting us use this great facility here this evening. It's one of the best places here in town, especially to have a forum like this. And I'd like to thank the Chamber and all of you members right up here, and the efforts you put in, and for the opportunity that we had here tonight to have this forum. Please give yourselves a round of applause for that. Would you My name is Boy O'Brien. I am the county judge. You asked me why I want to do this. I'll just tell you it's real plain and simple. I love it. I like what I do, and I hope it shows. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it at all. I work with a great team. And when I say team, I mean I deal with all of the offices. Every one of them that's been up here tonight that's vying for position, to the ones that are incumbents. One way or another, I'm gonna have business and have to deal with those people one way or another. So I'm in a great position. I'm gonna have a great opportunity to meet a lot of people. I enjoy what I do. come on board with Dawson County in 2003 as your county commissioner, precinct 4. I held that position for just over 10 years. I feel like that has given me a great insight to the administrative side of Dawson County and got to know what the budget's all about and what it's like to create a budget, fund the budget, and to keep a county under budget. But I can't take credit for that. You've got a team of commissioners that you deal with, and it's so important to have a good, great county auditor that will help you out, as well as all of these other members that are department heads and elected officials. They're responsible for their offices and them alone. It's not my position to tell them what to do. And so when you have a great team like we have that's responsible, that take care of their money, and they don't overspend, and they everyone works together, it makes for a great environment. And so with the 10 and a half years or 10 plus years that I had that way, I think at that point in time, it was in May of 2013, and you remember our late Judge Alan Wells was diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor, and bless his heart, loved him to death, and there was no way he could finish his term. And so at that point in time, I resigned my post as commissioner to make myself available, to know what the commissioners had in mind. I was going to run for county judge the next term anyway, because Judge Wells expressed to me it was not for him. And so I would not run against him, no way, no how, but he expressed to me he was not interested in another term. And so the commissioners did nominate me and place me as county judge there, and I took office and took the oath 24th of May 2013. So I've been your county judge ever since, and I've loved every minute of it. And so I wear many hats. There's a lot of things I do, too numerous for me to start. I don't just sit in there and wait for the phone to ring. I promise you, all of these ladies here tonight can vouch for that. One thing I will say, I'm going to miss all of the outgoing officials. They're just all one in a million, second to none. And so it's going to be hard to see them go, but on the other hand, with that, new opportunity comes. And so I'm looking forward very much so to working with whoever may win these new positions. And it's just one of those jobs that it's not for everybody. I can't stand up here and tell you that each and every one of you would love to do it, because you wouldn't. You just have to be there a while to understand it. And so I feel fortunate and I feel very honored to serve as your county judge here in Dawson County, and I look forward to serving another term. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Floyd. The county treasurer position is another one of our positions up this year, and it's another uncontested race. And Terri Stahl will be the new county treasurer, and we'll let Terri come up and say a few words. Welcome, Terri.
Good evening, and first of all, I'd like to thank all of y'all for taking some time out just to come listen to us. And yes, I do know that tech is playing, so I've already been warned about that. My name is Terri Stahl. A lot of people think I'm not from here, so I'm going to give y'all a little secret. My family's from Duyck. Grew up in Linn County, went to school at Wilson for a couple of years. Then my family bought a farm. It was right on the Lynn-Hockley-Lubbock line, and I went to school at Friendship and graduated at Friendship. My dad was a farmer, but he was also the manager of Eddies and Walters, so that means I went to every game at Newham, Tahoka, Ropes, and Wilson. So I knew everybody. In fact, one of our ball games, I was talking to a girl laughing coming up on the basketball court, and my coach said, "Why are you talking to her?" I said, "She's my cousin." So I am from around here, and I am from a small town. After I graduated from Friendship, I went to Tech. Was very interested in research and got into the medical world. And before I came here, I was working at Texas Tech's Garrison Institute on Aging doing Alzheimer's research. I came here 10 years ago with my better half, the fire chief. He decided to retire from Lubbock after 34 years. Came home 8 months later and said, "Hey, I got a little job." I said, "Oh, okay, good, you're driving me crazy." He said, "I'm the fire chief in Lamesa." So that's what brought us here. I was brought up to work, and I was brought up to serve those around me, and that's where I'm happiest, is serving people. I love to see somebody smile because something little happened in their life that made them happy. I came to Lamesa, we started the Chicken Fried Steak Festival, and everything just kind of rolled from there. I'm on the Movie Land Board, the Boys and Girls Club, on the Library Board. I have trouble saying no. So when I was asked about this position, you know, I already helped the people in the city of Lamesa, and I saw that this was a way to help more people in the county. So I chose to do this. My job at Tech, I worked with the federal government. I was in charge of 30 people in a lab, including interns, residents from all walks of life. And I did their payroll, I did the hiring and firing, I did the I-9s, I kept up with all the money. And I feel that that makes me a good candidate because I've done that before. I feel that my work drive and my leadership skills can help in that office. You know, one of the things that we do, the county treasurer is in charge of personnel and insurance and making sure the employees are welcomed when they come there. I feel that I can do that. I feel that we can streamline and that we can continue everything that's being done now. And I think that the people that are there, I hate that they are retiring because that's a lot of experience there. But I feel that I can learn from them, and I can do due diligence for the citizens in the county. And I feel that with my work experience, I can do that. And I hope that I have your support in this endeavor, and I want you to know if you ever have a suggestion, please come let me know. The door to that office is always open, and I'm always willing to listen to anyone. But thank you.
Okay, last but not least, we have candidate for Justice of Peace. That will be current Fire Chief, Larry Duyck. You're lucky she didn't take all your time.
I'm the one that reminded about the tech. First of all, I'd like to thank Sandra and the Chamber for putting on the candidate forum. I think it's important for our community that we do that. I love seeing each one of you here because that tells me that you are concerned about our community. We need more and more people that feel that way. And so I just want to say thank you for being here. I'm looking forward to the challenge of Justice of the Peace. I've watched Judge Dice and I admire and respect her for the number of years that she served. She's done that well, and it's going to be tough to replace that. And I know that, but it's a little scary thinking about it. But she's done a great job, and I really appreciate her for that. I look forward to serving. I've been a fireman for 40 years, even with that. I have a business degree from McCormick University, and this is a new challenge. I've worked around the people. I've dealt with the Sheriff's Office, the EMS, PD, different people that are involved in the judicial system, and I look for it as a challenge. I know it's going to be tough, but I think with good office help and a good staff, I think we can make that work efficiently, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. Thank you.
I really appreciate all the candidates helping and keeping this moving. I shouldn't say that. It's really hard for a couple of lawyers to keep it down for 2 minutes. Y'all did a great job. And everybody did, from Sandra and the Chamber to, again, the city for providing this. Thank y'all all so much for coming out. And if you want to stick around, I think we've got some time that people, if they want to address some of the candidates, well, they're welcome to, I think they're willing to stay. So thank y'all all for coming out, and let's have a good turnout on the election. Thank you.